Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, Chapter 212, and my review for the new episode that apparently came out. Well, episode 17 came out too. I'll upload that at some point if I get to it tonight, because I still have to record my Tokyo Ravens review. But yeah, who knows how long I'll be alone in my room for. Wow, that sounded really weird. Wow. Okay. Uh, Magi. Alright, this chapter starts off with Sinbad admitting that it is Apar's power. He explains it. It's pretty much what I said last week, alright? I explained it last week. Everything he said in this chapter is what I said last week, so clearly Shinobu Otaka watches my videos, goes to my channel, which makes perfect sense since I'm awesome and everything. But moving on. He ends up saying that his limit is 3 people. He can only use this power to control 3 people, and he uses it in order to watch over what's going on through all over the world. And one person is Kokiku, obviously. Another person is someone in Sindria, or he said someone in someone in his territory. If Sindria is his only territory, we don't know. I would assume so, but with Sinbad, you never know. But someone in his territory, that's number 2. And the third one is someone who cannot be named. He's someone who he can't tell Alibaba. So that's interesting. I mean, it could be someone from the Lame Empire. Could be someone from Althaman who he fought once. If he didn't kill Isnan, then maybe I would have said him, but he freaking Badalak Psycho, boom, done. Alright? Maybe it's Judal? Aladdin? I don't know. I don't know. Morgiana? I don't know. I was thinking maybe it could be Yunnan, but then I realized there's no way Yunnan would fall for something like that. So, same thing with Scheherazade. Well, when would he have even had a chance to meet Scheherazade? Who cares? All right. I haven't watched the adventures of. I haven't read the Adventures of Sinbad, the spin-off that's out there. But I don't know who that third person could be. It can literally be anybody. It could be freaking Kashi. He freaking comes back from the dead. Because Sinbad probably has a freaking jinn that can bring back people using his puppets. Like freaking Edo Tensei or Genryusai Yamamoto or something like that. With all those other jinn, he could probably create a human using one of his jinn and then use the bar on that. Like, dude, this dude, man. I want to see him go all out once. I want to see him go all out. We saw Cohen do a bunch of different jinn equips. Well, I want to see Sinbad do the same. Alright, but whatever. I'm getting way off topic now. Well, not way off topic, but yeah. Yeah. Sinbad's God uses the power. He uses the power in order to get information from people. And Alibaba and Baskum, how could you do something like that to Kogyaku? She's a nice girl. All she wants to do is help. But you're taking advantage of her, having her betray her brothers against her own will. She's not even conscious of the fact that she's hurting her own family. Like, how would you do something like this to her? And Sinbad's like, hey, you're right, she is a nice girl, and she doesn't deserve to have to go through this, but when it comes to protecting my country, when it comes to getting information that could help me in the possible war that might come up between Sindria and the Ko Empire, I'm putting my personal feelings aside, which I can understand that. When it comes to freezing, when it comes to Hunter x Hunter, recently with my review that I just did, sometimes there are hard decisions you have to make, and you have to make those tough decisions, and Sinbad is willing to make those tough decisions, even if it makes him look like a bad person. He's willing to make them. So in the end, I do respect him for that. Usually, in a shonen manga or anime, you want to see someone actually make those tough decisions. They try to find some way out of it. Like, oh, you can either kill this person or kill that person. I'll save them both with the power of friendship. It's usually something like that. Like, they're never willing to make the tough calls. But Sinbad is, so yeah, I respect him for that. He says he will do just about any dirty method he can in order to protect his country, if that's what it takes. All right, and Alibaba, he tells him, if you want to, you can join the Co-Empire. It's not that big of a deal. Any of the 8 channels, they would probably do the same exact thing, especially Shah Khan, since all of their situations are similar. They're all of them are like former princes and princesses and like people who were like high up in the social status. They were all people who were high up who, for some reason or another, had to leave their country, and they're taking refuge with Sinbad and Sindria. They're just like Alibaba. So they all would have done the same thing. They all would have joined the Co-Empire if that was their choice. If they were given the choice of actually being able to go back to their home, regain the status that they once had, and live life the way they were before whatever it is happened that made them leave in the first place. And Sinbad, in the end, he says, if you don't want to cut all ties with Sindria, if you don't want to join the Co-Empire, you could just do a blacklist, said. He mentioned it a couple weeks ago. You could just do what he said and fake join the Co-Empire. Like I said, I said it 2 weeks ago. Hey, you can fake join the Co-Empire, and I take them down from within, still helping Sindria, feed them information, stuff like that. So, see, even freaking Sinbad watches my videos, man. He's a fictional character, and he still finds a way to watch my videos, right? I'm just saying, not trying to, toot my own horn or anything. I'm just saying, all right? My plan, even Sinbad came up with it. After I did, but still, even Sinbad said it. I'm just saying, it's a possibility. It's a possibility, all right? Unfortunately, Alibaba kind of turns it down, says no, too big of a risk. All right. If I was found out, then I wouldn't be able to go to Balbat anymore. There's no way they would ever let me in. All right. So he says if he does join the Co-Empire, he's going to join for real and fight for real, and he's going to end up telling Kogiku about Zepar, which Sinbad says to that, oh no you're not, no you're not, because if you were to do that, think about what happened to Kogiku. All right. Which is true, because if the Co-Empire found out that Kogiku was being used by the enemy in order to gather information, they would push her away. They wouldn't like banish her or something like that, kick her out, strip her of her name and her status or anything like that, but they wouldn't let her. She's a general now. They'd strip her of that title. They wouldn't let her anywhere near the war room. They wouldn't tell her anything, let her know anything, because they'd never know when Sinbad would be listening in. Okay? Kogiku would be pushed away, and that would only hurt her. So, especially like emotionally, like both like figuratively and emotionally, because she would be very hurt by that, by the fact that this person who she used to love did something like that to her that ruined the relationship she has with her family. That's pretty freaking messed up. She might hate Sinbad as much as she did back when she thought that Sinbad slept with her. Back when he was negotiating with the Co-Empire, that former emperor. She'd be that mad. Well, she'd be more like sad than mad. If Alibaba were there to comfort her, then I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. It's pretty mean. But if Kogiku needs to be hurt in order to end up with Alibaba, hey, I'm just saying. I like the two. They belong together. Morgiana does not belong with Alibaba. It's just the way it is. They don't go together. Doesn't make sense. They have to force themselves to like each other in order to be. That doesn't make sense. Like Alibaba has these phantom feelings for Morgiana. It just doesn't make sense. All right, but whatever. Moving on. They end up departing, going to the summit. Alibaba, his crew, Co guys. They end up going, and Alibaba, it turns out he hasn't actually told the others about this offer that Cohen has made him, which means that Morgiana hasn't got a chance to tell him what Moose said about, could be war and, all that. And Alibaba ends up questioning Cohen, because Cohen's saying, so you're gonna take the deal, right? And Alibaba, he wants to wait. He wants to wait The reason why he didn't, the reason why I mentioned how he didn't tell the others yet is because he wants to wait to tell them because he doesn't know if he actually wants to take the deal or not. Okay, if it turns out that Koen or Gyokuen, the emperor of the Ko Empire, because he didn't even know that the emperor of the Ko Empire right now was a woman, so he doesn't know who the person is at all. So the emperor, maybe he does know, he just isn't aware of the fact that he passed away. But if Koen or the emperor or someone high up in the Ko Empire is affiliated or allied with Alphaemin, then he doesn't want to join. Okay, and Cohen's answer to that is that Alphaemin is a part of his body. Okay, he says that he knows that there are going to be people who betray him every once in a while. He knows there are going to be people who don't see things his way, but he doesn't want to get revenge on them. And the reason why he doesn't want to get revenge on him, and also the same reason why Hakuryu is not going to be allowed to become king, why Koen will fight him before letting him become king, is because of hatred. Hakuryu can't let go of his hatred, and Koen doesn't want to have hatred towards anybody. Okay, and this point is where he starts trying to do his best Naruto impression, right? Because he just started he started talking about the cycle of hatred pretty much. That's essentially what he was talking about. Okay, one person does something, and another person wants to get revenge. It starts the cycle of hatred that people can't escape from, and ends up causing all these flaws in the world, which which end up being big problems. And Cohen wants to put a stop to those flaws before they even become flaws. He wants to not contribute to the cycle of hatred. Okay, because once it gets rolling, the only way to stop it is if you're a main character. Okay, and not even, you have to be more than main character. You have to be the fated person who is supposed to stop it. Alright, the freaking reincarnation of the Sage of the Six Paths. That's what you need to be. Well, Aladdin, you can make the argument that Aladdin would stop it, since he's kind of, even among main characters, he's special. Since he comes from like Amatoran, he's already seen this past, so he's the only one who can stop it from happening. I guess you can make an argument like, oh, what am I even talking about? Seriously, what am I talking about? Alright, the point is that he starts talking about the cycle of hatred and stuff. Then he says that if someone were to do something to his country, hurt the people in his country, the chances are he would not like it. He might just hate that person, and because he knows that there is a chance he might react that way, he doesn't want to do something that would cause someone to get revenge on him, or for him to go try to get revenge on someone else. Like, he doesn't want to start up the cycle of hatred stuff. So, in order to prevent any instances where he might want to get revenge on someone, he decides that he will do whatever it takes to protect his country, even if it means turning his hands, which is just what Sinbad said. Okay? He too, he's willing to make those tough calls. Alright? So I respect Cohen too. Alright? No matter, and he said, and well, this isn't exactly what he says, but it's pretty much what he means. No matter how repulsive Alphaemin is, no matter how repulsive some people are, even if they were going to portray him at some point in time, he'll still use them use their strength in order to try and protect the Ko Empire. And that's just the decision he's made. And he says that he also ends up adding in that how Kuryu isn't going to betray the Ko Empire because he's been influenced in some way, shape, or form. He wasn't really clear on it. Alibaba was like, wait, so he has measures against Hakuryu as well? You know. But, yeah, Alibaba's starting to get it. Towards the end of that scene with Sinbad, he was saying, but, you know, so he understood where Sinbad was coming from. He just didn't like it. He understood why he's doing what he's doing. He just didn't like it. And now with Cohen saying pretty much the same thing, he's starting to realize, like, wait a second, is this making decisions like this, using people like this, sacrificing people like this, is this what you need to do in order to become a king? Is this what I need to become? You know, so maybe, just maybe, we might see some Alibaba character growth here, some development for him. You know, I would love to see that. Take advantage of the fact that Aladdin isn't here, have him actually grow without depending on Aladdin. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The chapter ends with them arriving at their destination. We see Hina Ho and Jafar and Listy or whatever her name is, Dracon, Sparta or whatever. No, Sparta. What is that dude's name? Who cares? No one cares about that dude anyway. He's irrelevant in the entire freaking series. No one gives a crap about him. All right, who cares? All right, but we see like 5 of the 8 generals, all right, and they welcome Cohen, and yeah, and that's how the chapter ends. Overall, I'll give this chapter. It wasn't exactly the most exciting chapter, but it talked about a lot of important and relevant topics in the series, especially when they got to talking about King Vessel, or Alibaba. They didn't really talk about King Vessels, but it's what Alibaba himself mentioned. You know, there were some pretty important topics there, pretty important conversations. So it's hard to judge though, because it's not like it was an exciting chapter. It's not like you can read it and say, "Wow, that was awesome, that was great." Like, it's not something like that. So I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10, because Cohen did just end up saying the same thing as Sinbad said, which is the point. It's to really hammer the point home. But still, it's still just saying the same thing. It's like what I said about Madara. Oh no, did I say that? I remember thinking. I don't remember if I actually said it though. Wow. No, I don't think I did. Well, actually, I might have said it in a review or something like that for Naruto. The point I was going to make was that this Madara is awesome and everything, but while I enjoy individual chapters of Naruto, but this arc as a whole I don't give a crap about, because all Madara is doing what Obito has already accomplished. It's like hitting the rewind button to the start of the Ten Tails revival arc, then hitting play, then boom. Then we're just starting all over again. So it's boring. Madara is boring, pretty much, because all he's doing is what we've already seen. So and the point I was going to make was that, yeah, it might be awesome, but we're still seeing it again. It's not the first time. We're still seeing this again. Therefore, the impact isn't as strong. So that's how I'm giving this. Oh my god. What an awful example. That's why I'm giving this chapter an 8.5 out of 10. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.